Welcome, race fans. Hello, Formula One fans. Thank you for watching the program. You are in paddock headquarters, and I want to give you my takeaways from the sprint race today at the Austrian Grand Prix. So it was pretty exciting, and for the third time, I believe, this season, we went from changing track conditions. So we started the race wet today, and by the end of the race, most of the track was dry, and certainly the line that the cars were running on the track was dry. So that provided some challenges in terms of decision-making, when to pit, when to change tires, and those sorts of things. So that provided some excitement for the race. Let's get through the finishes, and then I want to give you a couple points that are my takeaways, and then I want to hear what you have to say. Drop something in the comments. Let me know what you think about today's sprint race. So Max Verstappen battles Checo Perez. Checo, on like the first turn, perhaps, a quarter of a lap, challenges Max. He's pushing him. And it was good to see. It was really good to see because, we want to see Max challenged at least a little bit once in a while. And it looked like Checo was going to bring it early. And ultimately, Max takes the lead. And he runs away with it and puts the race securely in hand. So Max finishes first. Checo does get a much-needed second-place finish and gets the points for that. Third place goes to Carlos Sainz. A good, solid performance for Carlos. I don't think he had the car to win the race, but he definitely did well coming in third, getting 6 points for Ferrari. The team needed those points. Unfortunately, they needed Charles Leclerc to come in as well, but he started well and is now having really a tough weekend. More on him tomorrow after the Grand Prix, but Carlos does get that Ferrari into the third spot. Aston Martin takes fourth and fifth, much needed for them. Stroll comes in fourth, Fernando Alonso comes in fifth, and that puts them, if you're paying attention, now there's a driver's championship, and then there's a team constructors championship. And both of the Aston Martins finished in the points for this sprint race. And that means they're only 5 points behind Mercedes in that constructors championship, which is really going to be an exciting race to watch the rest of the season. So normally it's Alonso. Alonso has been carrying Aston Martin, the team, up to this point, and Lance Stroll has not been carrying his weight. So for him to come in fourth position today was really good for Aston Martin. They have some things to celebrate, but the big race is tomorrow, and let's see if they can have the big word is always consistency, right? You can't just finish near the top and then near the bottom. You have to consistently move up or finish near the top. So good job for Aston Martin. Both of the Red Bulls finished in the top 8. Both of the Aston Martins finished in the top 8th. And then we have, I think my story of the day really is Nico Hülkenberg coming in 6th. And let me see here. Yes. That means that his points have moved Haas Racing up to 7th in the Constructors' Championship. So that puts him ahead of Alfa Romeo, Williams Racing, and AlphaTauri. So Haas is in a really good position right now, and the bulk of that victory really is on Nico Hülkenberg. Kevin Magnussen hasn't been pulling his weight to the extent that Nico has, and if Kevin would really step up a little bit and just even be in the same area, Haas would be, I think, in a much more solid position towards the bottom mid-pack area. So good job for Nico. I think he's driver of the day for me. He was in second position for a while, but the degradation of the tires caught up to him. He had to pit, but he still finished in the points. So very exciting for Nico Hülkenberg. He is my big takeaway from the sprint race for the day. Ocon is the other one. Ocon finishes 7th, and he gets some points, a couple points for Alpine. And that's important because McLaren didn't have any of the cars finish in the points. And any points Alpine can get to keep them above in that 4th and 5th, that mid-pack range, really help secure that position, which, depending on where you finish in the constructors title, it means a lot of money in terms of prize money. So, finishing third is a lot different than finishing sixth, and it has a lot more money involved for the teams at the end of the season. So just one other thing to keep in mind, Ocon gets a couple points for Alpine, and it makes it more valuable because McLaren didn't get any. So both of the McLarens, both of the Williams, both of the AlphaTauris, and both of the Alfa Romeos, none of those cars finished in the points today. A few of them are bottoms teams. Williams was making a nice little run with Alex. I think Alex will do better tomorrow. But all of those cars, they weren't able to take advantage of any points today on the sprint race before the big race tomorrow. Finally, George Russell. He's really been streaky lately, and I think has fallen below his potential. So he does get in the points. He gets a point for Mercedes. He comes in 8th. He's one to watch. Both Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell, just really curious. They really had been showing improvement steadily, but this sprint race did not suit them well today. So let's get through the weekend, and we can really do a big post-race show tomorrow and perhaps get a more fuller picture on where Mercedes is compared to Aston Martin in the Constructors title. And then we can go through the top 4 or 5 drivers in the Drivers' Championship. So that's where we are. It was a very good sprint race. If you watch my videos, I'm not a big fan of the sprint races. I'm glad there's only 6. I don't want them to add any more. But it does provide a nice opportunity for some of those mid and lower tier teams to grab a couple points off of the Grand Prix race. So in that respect, it's very good. So tomorrow is the Austrian Grand Prix. 9, I believe, maybe it's 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, ESPN. Double check the time. I'm on the East Coast here in the United States. I will watch the race. I'll do a big post-race show afterwards. I post a video every single day. Thank you for watching my content. I will see you tomorrow.